Hey, Facebook Live watchers. It's Mark and Tamil Kenney with Think Multifamily.
Hey, guys.
We are here today talking with Patrick Duffy. Patrick, where are you today?
Hey, everybody. I'm in sunny Irvine, California today.
You wouldn't,
Nice.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it because you're in the dark a little bit. So
Yeah, I try to get some vitamin D coming in, but
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So we know that you just got married recently. How long ago was
That was April 27th. Got married here in Southern California, and then went to Japan for the honeymoon.
Nice.
And, was there for about 2 weeks, and came back to Southern California. Yeah, so it was a whirlwind, but a lot of fun. It was great.
Well, you came back for a day, I believe, and then had your appendix out, if I remember.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I was back in the States for about a day or two, and then I thought I had something weird to eat, and then 8 hours later was on the operating table, so that was fun.
Oh my gosh.
At least you were back here, I guess, when it happened. It's a little
Exactly. Yeah. No, that was the blessing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you recovering well from that?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So all good.
Cool.
Luckily, I have to do it once, right? So.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you are just now joining us, it's Mark and Tamil Kenney with Think Multifamily. We're here, Facebook Live, to talk with Patrick Duffy, who quit his job at the age of 27 through apartment investing. If you hear something on this Facebook Live that you don't understand, just go ahead and type your question in the comments, and we'll try to get to it. Also, if you like something you've heard or like this Facebook Live, we would really appreciate it if you would show us a little thumbs up or show us some love and share this video so that other people can also learn from this content. Patrick, can you please tell us how you got your kind of your start just in real estate investing? And then we want to hear how once you got your first property, how did you scale? Like, how did you get bigger and go faster?
Certainly, yeah. So I started my career in real estate lending. So I was making loans to multifamily operators and other commercial real estate operators. And, make a long story short, after a couple of years of doing that, I really badly wanted to get on the principal side of the transaction and be the one getting lent the money. And so I had reached out to some of my previous folks that I had done deals with and lent money to, and asked them what they would recommend in terms of getting started. And so they recommended, partnering up and finding a mentor or someone that I could deliver some value to. And so after I got my first deal under my belt, I was really looking for ways to scale and grow and go further, because really not having any money and having to beg, borrow, and not steal, but beg and borrow to do that first one. It really opened up the world for me that partnering could lead to some really amazing things. And so luckily, right around the time that I closed that first deal, I met Mark, and meeting Mark and with his program and folks in his Rolodex, we closed another 450 units in about 8 months in 2017. So in my first year, I was just over 500 units, just about 600 units. And it was amazing. And so, I mean, that really showed me that the sky was the limit, and more than that too. I mean, it was the kind of the real synergy of partnering, and 2 + 2 then kind of equals 5, and people with kind of complementary skill sets can really just totally grow beyond just what one individual person can do. And so then in 2018, I kind of took a step back a little bit just to focus on asset management of the properties that we bought during 2017. And asset management wasn't really, my favorite thing, but we'll get into that later. But it wasn't really my favorite thing, but it was necessary. When you buy that many properties, and some of them were really kind of hairy value add deals, we really kind of got into the weeds on those and made sure that they were lined up for success. And then towards the end of 2018, that's when I started getting kind of back into acquisition mode a little bit. And then we were awarded a deal just towards the end of the year, I think in 2018, beginning of 2019, and then that didn't pass due diligence. So then we were on the hunt again. And then just towards the very beginning of 2019, we got under contract for a 384 unit portfolio, and then we closed on that in April. So it was only about 4 months ago. But that's our most recent acquisition and marketized acquisition. And now there's, still opportunities coming up today. So yeah, don't see us slowing down really. So it's, yeah, I mean, and that's again, I appreciate everything you've done, Mark and Tammy, just the partnering and bringing the group together. It's just, you can really do as many deals as you want to a degree, or that you can physically survive doing.
Yeah, right.
And I talk with people all the time. I was like, if you want to sleep an hour a night and do, 20 deals this year, more power to you. Go for it. It's really kind of how hard you want to push. Partnering with people allows you to kind of throttle it however you like.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, really, is because, I always tell people I can do way more. People are like, how do you do what you do and spend so much time this and that? I'm like, I could always do more, but it's still a balance, right? You're still balancing all the different aspects of your life. If you don't, you're going to be out of balance. So you do have to. But reality is that you were 27, I think, when we met. You didn't have really any money at the time,
Right.
But you had something that you could offer of value, and that's why people come to me, your age or whatever, and say, "Oh, I have a bunch of time," and it's like, it's not valuable. I mean, time by itself, you got really good at finding deals, right? And you got really good at analyzing deals.
Mm-hmm.
Both those skill sets don't require any money.
Right.
And you were like, hey, if I need to go jump on an airplane and go to fly to, wherever, Tennessee, I'm there from California, right? So it's a long flight. So taking action, but also having something of value is really the key. And if you don't have something of value, it's just not beneficial, frankly. You have to do that. And you found out, right? You don't have to do every aspect of it. You didn't raise any money in the first deals. You did.
That's right. In the first couple deals, first 4 deals, I did not raise any money. I relied on my partners and you primarily to raise the money for those deals. I went out and found them. I underwrote them, got them under contract, and then worked them through closing. But yeah, when it came to the fundraising, I didn't do any of that. I relied on you and the partners in those transactions.
Yeah.
And then luckily, given the track record and meeting people through the Think Multifamily ecosystem, I was able to raise some money on the 5th and 6th transaction in April. So that was nice. But yeah, that, to your point, what's so kind of nice about what you and Tammy do is you allow people to kind of find what they're good at and then pursue that in a way to get involved in transactions. And it's so powerful because I think that a lot of people have this idea that they have to be able to do everything A to Z, and that's just not true. You can partner with folks that have complementary skill sets, but maybe you're just better at certain things than you are. And then together, you can just really do some really amazing stuff together. So yeah, that's absolutely right.
So true. And now people will sit there and look at you and say, well, I'm going to do what Patrick does. Well, reality is maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't be, right? Just because Patrick was able to retire at 27 doing something, you could do something completely different. Maybe you're good at raising money, and that's where your skill set is. Maybe you have capital, right, and you can do that. But find what you're good at, right? And you probably already know what you're good at. You know what you like, you know what you don't like.
Right.
So you mentioned earlier on, as far as asset management, and you took a step back in 2018 to do that. And I think initially it was kind of like, you definitely love the transaction hunting for deals. I know you do, just kind of know you.
Yeah.
And then you kind of got more involved in the asset management side and kind of decided maybe that was an area you wanted to concentrate on further.
Right. And yeah, no, I love the hunt. I love going after deals and competing and winning those and building relationships with brokers and new markets and getting deals and uncovering the value. I love that process. I do. And the asset management, I was just asked to do the asset management. Well, primarily because it was kind of my role in those transactions. So I needed to do that. And so I did it. But then over time, it became apparent that a lot of other people enjoy the hunting as well, not so much the gathering, if you will. And so speaking to your point earlier, find people and deliver value to them, the asset management was of huge value. And so being able to really kind of specialize in that and do that now, that's what I seek to offer to other folks that do really specialize in the acquisitions. Is if they need an asset management partner, I can certainly be their partner in that regard, because I've, kind of baptism by fire a little bit. I've kind of gone through some of the trials of asset management and been able to see a lot of stuff and develop some good disciplines and practices with regard to asset management that I think could be of value to others. So they don't have to go through some of the things that I have. Not that they've been disasters, but learning moments for sure. Right. Disasters avoided, but learning moments all the way. Wow. But yeah, I mean, it's become something that I've enjoyed over time, and now choose to specialize in, because it's just, there's a big void of that. Not a lot of folks are really talking about asset management, but as they get deeper into their syndication or multifamily kind of entrepreneurship kind of journey, they realize how important asset management is. So yeah, that's kind of what I've chosen to specialize in and seek to offer to others.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and you do an awesome job at it.
Thanks, appreciate that.
I just wanted to interrupt real quick. I know I said at the beginning, if people had questions along the way, to go ahead and leave us comments. I am reading from the Be Live company that they're having issues with the comment section with Facebook. So we are not able to see your comments if you have questions. What I would like to offer is, if you have questions about this podcast, anything that Patrick is saying, or real estate investing in general, regards to apartments, please send me an email, Tammy, Tami, at thinkmultifamily.com. That's Tammy at thinkmultifamily.com, and I will try to respond to you quickly.
Yeah, that's one of the joy, exactly. So we never can tell what's going to happen, but
and then also, if you're just joining us, again, it's Mark and Tamil Kenney with Think Multifamily, and we're talking with Patrick Duffy, who quit his job at the age of 27 by investing in apartments. And I want to step back a little bit, Patrick, and talk to you about that day you knew that you were able to turn in your notice and quit your job.
Well, he had to turn in before he got fired, I think, was it, right?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And I'll be honest, I think I was a bad employee all around. Like, I've never been a good employee to an extent, because like you, to a certain extent, I have an entrepreneurial bug, and I realized that I couldn't really change that about myself. But yeah, I mean, it was early mornings, late nights at my job at that time, just seeking to, frankly, get out and get into multifamily full time. And so, I neglected some things, and I'm not proud of it, but, ultimately it enabled me to be where I am today. But I actually had it was really funny. So I remember being on the phone with Mark that morning, and I was discussing kind of an expanded role and working with you and partnering with you to get some more deals together. And we had come to an agreement over the phone that morning about kind of helping me to, with some certainty that if I were to leave, then we could kind of work together and get some deals done. And after I got that certainty, I literally went upstairs and I gave my 2 weeks notice. And so it was, I don't know if I've ever told you that before. But No, that was, we had a conversation. I was standing outside the building that morning, and then we hung up, and I literally went upstairs and I gave my 2 weeks. But it was, and so even though I was, in a quasi financial position to be able to do that, just having that certainty of like, yeah, we envision a long-term partnership and working together, that just gave me the confidence to be able to do that. But yeah, at that time, not too far before that, there was that classic discussion of, let's put you on an improvement plan. And so the table had been set, the table had been set. And so it was just kind of preempting that decision. So,
well, it goes to show, I mean, and you had all the skill sets to do a phenomenal job with what you were doing, but, it was not where your passion was. So, and maybe, frankly, maybe multifamily isn't where somebody's listening to this, isn't their passion either. And that's totally fine, but find what it is. And if it is, do whatever you can. I mean, you were 27. I would ask people who want to retire when they're 27, but apparently you can't comment right now because Facebook isn't working. But I would have liked to retire when I was 27, and it's relative. I mean, you're still working now, but you're living life on your own terms. You just got married. When you were out looking at deals at 27, you didn't have any credibility by yourself, right?
Right.
So, going to meet with brokers, kind of a young kid, no money, no experience. And that's where, by adding value to someone else, like we added value for me, right? And Tammy,
Yeah.
it was a great partnership because we're like, hey, we'll do this piece, you do that piece. And together, I mean, I remember the 321 unit deal, and you may or not remember, I know you were freaked out about the size of that deal, if you remember.
Yeah.
Really? Do you think we can do it? Is it like, but it was a big deal, right? For sure.
Yeah.
But we got it done, right? And we closed, I think, December 23rd, if I remember. It was
That's right. Yeah.
2 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
But working together, a team, you get it done, right? And you don't want to do something foolish, right? But that was something I felt comfortable doing. And we had you kind of doing the upfront piece of it and going through all the due diligence, all stuff like that. So together, it's great. And you have to have people helping you in this business. If you don't, you're going to be stagnant. You're going to go very, very slowly. If you want to go fast, you have to have something of value to offer people and partner with people. It's just reality.
That's right. I mean, kind of the superhero syndrome of entrepreneurs, right? You want to do it all yourself. It's just simply not possible. And just getting over that mental hurdle of, you don't need to do everything yourself. It opens you up to so many different possibilities. And to your point, I mean, it just enables you to grow so much faster. Sure, someone might over time be able to do this by themselves, maybe, if they don't give up before then. But then, having a partner also, provides that leverage in the other direction too, and can maybe keep you going when you feel a little bit discouraged or down. So that's another element about it too. I found, being with partners has significantly enabled me to just be a little bit more optimistic. Frankly, sometimes when you lose out on a deal or you just don't feel like going on stuff, they might send you something and be like, hey, can you run this for me? And then you're back into it again. So it has those benefits too.
And I think, partnerships can be tough. I mean, they're not always great, but at the end of the day, a lot of partnerships, that we're involved in result in friendships too. They really do, So
Right.
I just tell people, everyone we hang out with is in our group. It's just reality,
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. So.
Yeah. So, we just wanted to share with y'all that we're having a 2-day conference coming up in Dallas in just a few weeks here, September 7th and 8th. It's called the Fire Summit, and we teach a lot of the things that we taught Patrick on how to either get your first apartment deal or how to scale just like Patrick did. We would love to have you join us. If you would like to join us at the Fire Summit, there is a discount code called Facebook 200 to save $200 off of your ticket. Again, that's the Fire Summit, and the discount code is Facebook 200. You can check us out there at thinkmultifamily.com/Fire Summit. So, Patrick, do you have any last words of advice for people who are trying to get started in apartment investing, who might be trying to make that transition from single family to multifamily?
Certainly. Well, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned the Fire Summit, and sorry I didn't mention earlier, but going to these events and going in person, it's so valuable to not only go for the content, but meet the people and talk to them face to face and get some of those kind of nuggets and learn from their experience just by talking to them face to face, because you quickly realize that people they start out just like you. You may feel like you don't know a thing. Well, they didn't know a thing either, but then they learned it. And through the very, steps that are proven and taking action, they were able to get where you want to go. And so it's I think it's really powerful to be able to see that in person by going to the summit, for example. I think the first Think Multifamily event I attended, it was a different name, but it had the same effect on me. I saw people that had what I wanted, and I was able to pick their brain and follow the same steps. But then in terms of, any other advice, it's really just stay persistent and just keep working at it, because I consider myself lucky, frankly, in many regards. Like, I was lucky that first deal I did was with an inexperienced broker that was willing to take my offer as basically a nobody. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of got me in the game, and I was lucky to meet Mark and be able to work alongside him and kind of join the team and then keep leveraging up. So, but had that not happened, like, it showed me still, like, even today, I don't win every deal that I go after. but you have to keep making offers, and just like someone starting out, you're not going to get every offer you send accepted, and you just got to keep making offers. It's just the truth of it. And there are several students that would attest to that and have attested to that you've worked with, that I've underwritten 100 deals before they got their first offer accepted, but they get it accepted. And now, one guy in particular that I'm thinking about got his first deal done a couple months ago and is now under contract on an off market for a second, and it just perpetuates. So just keep pushing and it'll happen. That's really my main point.
Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you both. Great seeing you.
Hey, Patrick. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.